Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob. And as I just said to Bob, like 2 seconds ago, before I hit record, I've got some hot off the press. I wouldn't call it breaking news, just quite, but certainly hot off the press from Vinny, friend of the show. I have had zero time to fact check it. Um, it just seems very interesting and something that would pertain to us, sort of, not really. Once I read it, you realize not really, but it's in the realm. Um, so it comes from a gentleman named Phil Galfond, who I just opened up his profile on Twitter, is a professional poker player, coach, and founder of Run It Once and Beyond the Game Coaching, playing on Bet Rivers Poker. So he's a professional poker player. I don't know, seems like he has some kind of strategy company to teach people how to play poker or whatever. Uh, I've never heard of him, but again, I haven't followed poker in probably 15 years. Um, since it was Doyle Brunson and Chris Moneymaker and Phil Ivey. Phil Ivey was like a young kid. Um, so this again is a tweet that Vinny just sent. And I'll just read the full tweet and then we'll kind of piece through it. Yikes. Senate amendment to the big beautiful bill equals you get taxed on more than you earned from gambling, even if you netted zero or less. Here's how it works and what you can do. The change. If it passes in this form, starting in 2026, gambling losses and expenses will only be 90% deductible and still only up to your total winnings. So what this means in plain English is if you win $100,000 and lose $100,000, you'll owe tax on $10,000 of quote phantom income, right? Because it's only 90% deductible losses, right? So if you win 100 and you lose 50, you actually profited 50 grand, but you'll owe tax on 55 because again, it's only 90% deductible. So if you win 100 grand and you lose 150 grand, no tax owed. Your deduction is capped at 100, which is more than the 90% of the 150, which is 135 grand. So then he puts in editing from my post below because it's important. A professional who earns $200,000 a year might have $3 million in winnings and $2.8 million in losses, right? So that's important, right? Like they they earned $200,000, but they won 3 million. That's one of those things that people don't really talk about. They're like, "Oh, they won $3 million." It's kind of sort of similar in golf, but not really. But like when someone's like, "Oh, they won, $1 million for coming in T19 or whatever." It's like, yeah, they won $1 million, but they had to pay for their own flight to get there, their own hotel. They had to pay their caddy. They have to pay their agent. So it's like, yeah, they won $1 million, but they netted, you know, 600 grand maybe. And then after taxes, who knows? Maybe it's only 400 or 500 grand. So again, a little bit similar, but not exactly the same. So a professional gambler who earns again $200,000 a year might have actually won 3 million but lost 2.8. Um, this means the $200,000 in earnings is being taxed as if they earned 480 grand. This applies to both recreational and professional gamblers. For pros, your travel, coaching, software, etc., is lumped into the loss bucket and still subject to the 90% cap. Then he goes, what to do. If you don't like this, and if you have a GOP congressman, let them know. You can find your House representative, whatever. Be respectful in your message. Yes, they're looked at. Thank you for breaking the news and keeping the poker players posted. Whatever. So again, that's what I said. Like it pertains to our world, right? Because we do a lot of sports betting. But and I know he said it applies to recreational and professional. I ain't winning enough money to claim anything on my taxes,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say, we do want everyone to chill because this is really So on one end, it is really, really stupid, but on another end, it really only affects the professionals.
Correct. Yes, 100% agree with you. It only affects professionals, but that doesn't mean that it's not retarded because it is
Yeah,
retarded. In principle, it is absolutely retarded.
and also, so I don't get, I don't understand why.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And I also think some of this is illegal.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
so I guess on one end, I guess I understand why it's 10% more in taxable revenue or
Right.
taxable income, I guess. But if someone if someone travels to a poker tournament, and so a professional gambler is like the same as a professional athlete. They're going to have an LLC, like in their,
Right.
whether it's their name or it's, Jeff Poker LLC, whatever. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna have an
Big time
LLC,
bets, big whale locks,
whatever it
LLC.
is. Because it sounds like or it sounds like it's coming from the poker world. But even like professional gambler, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So how, if in any business in the entire world, your expenses are 100% deductible if they're legitimate business expenses and they hit the right category. So just because you're a gambler, now your expenses just don't.
Yeah.
Because that's what it said. It said all expenses.
Right.
So it's like if you use QuickBooks to do your accounting, now only 90% of your QuickBooks subscription is
Yeah.
deductible.
Yeah. Seems like discrimination to me.
Only 90% of your accounting fees are deductible. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
Never mind what's to stop all these places from or all these people to changing their category to you know, education. What are you doing? It's like, oh, we're doing gambling education and gambling coaching. And some of the income will be from actual gambling ourselves.
Right.
So does that change their category? Like if you use QuickBooks or if you hire your accountant to do the LLC's like returns and account and software. So now are those 100% because your category is technically education?
Right.
Like how do you delineate this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. You basically have to create an umbrella, right, of like subsidiaries. So like your main LLC becomes education, right, as a category.
I
And
mean, it
then
could be
you
education, entertainment,
or entertainment, yeah,
coaching,
whatever it is. So
training.
pick your poison, right? But then you have a subsidiary that, or maybe it's S corp. I don't
You don't
know
even
the
have to.
yeah, I don't know the way it works as far as like creating subsidiaries and like filing for shit like that. Um, but if you just have a single subsidiary that's the gambling portion, because you're probably like, let's be real, you're probably going to have to give them something, right? Because it's the government and they're going to fucking figure it out. So if you're like, all right, cool. So only my gambling is 90% deductible, right? So, the plane tickets to the World Series of Poker, hotel rooms, whatever. But
What if you're coaching a
all of my
client?
else, coaching, yeah, well, yeah, if you're going to also, and that's the way around it. So, oh, yeah, while I was at this tournament, I also hosted a seminar. So
Yeah. So I traveled for the
I
seminar, and then
traveled
while
for
I
the
was there, I
seminar.
gambled.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's how you get around that. So then at that point, it would be only the earnings from direct gambling, right? And then like your YouTube channel and your fucking whatever software package you're going to sell, right? If you're like, oh, buy my or download my guide or whatever, like all that shit, then that's all 100% deductible.
So then, really, this is a ton of work just for gambling losses to be deducted at 90%.
Yeah. You know
because
what
it
this
says
is?
all expenses and it's not all expenses. So it's like in then anyone that's good enough will probably technically operate at a paper loss. You know, you stake someone, they pay you back. You know, buy my coaching package and I'll cover your fee. So it's like, you know, they pay it back one way. Like
Yeah,
there's all sorts of ways to do this.
yeah,
So why pass a bill that effectively it's like the Google box? No, what was the box in Rick and Morty? It's like slavery with more steps.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, like the
yeah.
mini box,
The
the
miniverse.
miniverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who then those people created a teeny verse.
Yeah. And that's all it is. It's just creating more headaches.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If anyone is under is if any of you are in high school, first of all, you need to make better life choices. Two, just go into accounting because
Yeah.
accounting, investing, banking, those are the people that always make out on this shit. So now all these people, their tax return just became more complicated. You got to pay your accountant more.
Right.
All the PPE, uh, oh shit, what was the COVID thing called?
PPP.
The PPP stuff. They like it's like, oh yeah, here's this money, and it's like yours or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, okay, so cool. We're gonna do this really, really complicated thing with the accounting. So yeah, so you now on this year, you can just pay your accountant triple because he has to do because he's not just doing one tax return, he's got to amend two others. So
Yeah.
or she, I guess. Mine's a he.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, your accounting bill, just triple it for this year because we gave you that money. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, God forbid we actually used ours. Like fucking suckers, I guess. So it was like all of that, like, it wasn't even worth it.
Yeah. Yep. What this reeks of to me is some senator in like fucking I don't know, Kentucky, right? Or like some like Arkansas. Some because the Republicans have the majority in the Senate, so this is their, addendum to the big beautiful bill. This is like some Republican senator in like backwoods somewhere, West Virginia, who has no idea, right? It's already in a state where there's no probably legalized gambling. Or maybe there is, who knows? I guess that's sort of irrelevant because this would be a way they could get more money in from it, but they got lobbied by their state lottery system, right? To be like, oh yeah, if you do this, then you bring in more money and it's less taxable income, or it's more taxable income, I think technically is the way to say it correctly. Right? Like this is some dumb senator just got lobbied by some group, right? Whether it was a state lottery system or it was an accounting lottery firm or an anti-gambling
You can just pick accounting.
lobbying
It's like,
group.
oh, how can we charge all of our clients more this year? Make them
Yeah,
do an amendment
yeah,
or make their accounting more difficult.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's probably again, it was some anti-gambling thing, and this guy was like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, I'm an old white guy that's in my 70s, and I do think gambling is wrong, and that's right. I will take your money as a lobbyist. Thank you very much for your campaign donation, and now I will also stick this in this other provision in this bill that's already way too big as it is. Like
Like
that, I
every other
guarantee
bill.
you that's how it went.
Let's say, and then never mind. Where do they stick this in? What's the big bill?
I don't know, some big giant fucking thing. It's like the budget. It's like the government's budget for the next however many years, two
Why do they
years.
even set a budget? They don't follow it.
Yeah, I know. It just
So what's
creates
the
more
point?
deficit.
Hey, you know what it does? Keeps the accountants employed.
Yeah. Well, it keeps the government open too, which
I
really
mean,
makes
dude, do
no
we even
fucking
do we even want it
difference.
to be open? It's
No, I don't particularly. I don't really
like
want it to be open.
all these people like I've had to mute more regular words. Like I Rand's muted on my Twitter.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Do we think that the government, like, does anyone think that the government's that important that if it closed, like anybody would miss it?
I certainly don't.
Because it's like how much more expensive are my groceries really going to get? And
Yeah.
like, are gas prices going to go up? Because I don't think that's up to the government. I believe that's up to the countries that are supplying the
Well, it depends on who you ask and at what time.
and at what
Because
time. Yeah.
when a Republican is president, then and gas prices go up, that the Democrats say it's the president's fault. But when a Democrat is president and the gas prices go up, Democrats say, well, the president has no control over the
Yeah.
gas. But then the Republicans go, oh, it's all his fault, right? Remember all the stickers on the pumps of Joe Biden with the finger pointing, being like, I did that? Like they were all over the place everywhere. And it's like, all right, so which one is it? Because depending on who's in power at what time, the president either has everything to do with the gas prices or nothing to do with the gas prices.
See, you're asking
Like,
for people to be consistent, and the only thing that they're consistent in is being dumb.
yes, I agree. Yes.
They can consistently do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, anybody with like a strong opinion one way or the other can't have anything.
Yeah.
So I think big accounting might be behind this.
I
It's
wouldn't be
certainly sounding
surprised.
like it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Those sneaky fuckers.
They're just trying to figure out how they can charge more.
Yeah. Big accounting. Look out for them. Can't trust them. The
They're probably they're behind it all.
the good thing, this I'm pulling all of this from our Twitter conversation today with our Twitter group. Um I think it was Jones sent something earlier that was Elon Musk put out a tweet that said, if they pass the big beautiful bill, I will start like the American party, right? So because like he's
That's good.
fed
A
up.
great American starting a new political
Yeah.
party here.
Yeah.
That's what we should have.
Yeah. Um so yeah, it was okay. It was a tweet from Kalshi, which does like they're actually pretty good. They were the ones that predicted like the presidential election and all that shit. Like they've actually been super accurate. But the odds of Elon Musk creating a new political party in 2025 have surged up to 41%. The spike comes after Elon proposed starting the American Party. So I guess like a week ago, it was at like 7%, and now it's at 41% that he's going to start a third party. He's come out and said that any Republican that campaigned on cutting the budget of the country and then votes yes on the big, beautiful bill, he goes, I will do everything in my power to make sure they're primaried and they don't have a seat anymore in their next election cycle.
Leave it when I see it.
Yeah.
I hope I don't. Really hope I don't.
I mean, he's the only guy that can really do that shit because he's got
Well, he's the only one who has. So
oodles
this is
of
the thing,
money.
though. He's the only one who's capable of it, but he's not immune from falling into like separate from the government, like use politics in a more general sense, like a more global
Right,
sense.
right.
He's not fucking free from that.
No, 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 not at all.
So that's what I mean is like even though he's being like, anti, current political state in this country, it's like he just keep an eye on what he's actually doing.
Yeah, I mean, he was cutting so many deals with China for so long, right? About, using their labor and things like that, because they're a huge consumer of Tesla, and he's still working with the government for SpaceX, right? Like the space exploration program. NASA relies on SpaceX quite a bit, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
there's still a
like
lot of government work going back and forth between Elon there. So, you got to take a little of the good with a little of the bad, but also take everything with a grain of salt, basically,
yeah,
too.
that's what I mean is like I know he's like a genius, but I don't know. He seems like a slime ball.
Yeah, well, he's a business guy. At the end of the day, he's a businessman. He's a CEO of like seven massive fucking global
Yeah.
companies.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so, like, if he's gonna start this like political party, whatever, it's like, just remember, how is he actually gonna benefit from this? And
Right.
Again, it sounds like a good idea. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like we're stuck right now.
yeah. And
Doesn't mean I wouldn't
ultimately,
like for change. I would like for a another party to come through. Because what's stupid? Was it stupid ass France? They've got something weird. Like they have like three parties, like left, right, center, and then
they have
depending
like
on like
six, but they form
okay,
coalitions.
yeah, I was gonna say, but like didn't like the two of them like
Yep.
kind of go together just so that they could crush
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah, there was one conservative woman, I forget her name. It was like Maxine something. Um, she was like crushing in the polls. So in a bunch of districts, they were like two liberal parties that didn't really agree with each other, decided to just concede certain races and come together and like form a coalition so that they would get the majority and this Maxine woman wouldn't win. It was collusion, but like it's allowed in their parliamentary system, apparently.
Sounds like something that would be French.
Yeah, sounds very French. It's fucking losers. But I think Canada does something similar to that too.
Probably because all Canada is England and France Junior.
Yeah, basically. Because they do like I've heard I don't really know how their government. I know it's a parliamentary system, but like I also don't really know what that means either, other than like they have a prime minister, not a president. Like that's as far as I go. When someone says oh, it's a parliamentary system of government, it's like, okay, so you have a prime minister. I get it. Like that's who you got. But like I just don't really know how it works. But I know they've talked about like dissolving the government, but it happens frequently. So like in the US, that sounds super drastic because it's like, oh my God, you dissolve the government? Holy shit. Like, what the fuck? But like apparently that's common practice in parliamentary systems where they have to like dissolve it and then reform it with like a leader coalition party or something. I don't know. Again, I don't understand that shit, but
No, thank you. Don't care.
yeah, I
My
would
head
like to
hurts.
dissolve our government sometimes.
I'd like to fucking dissolve myself in a vat of acid. It's like fucking
Yeah. Hey, Bill's got one of those in his backyard. We saw it the other day.
yeah,
Definitely
acid,
not a
rainwater.
rainwater catch, a collection
No,
system. It's a vat of acid
definitely a vat of
where he
acid.
throws all the dead bodies.
Gotta get rid of them somehow.
Yeah. All right. So I got one other thing here. And then so this is a nice piggyback off of what we talked about. I think it was the last episode where we were talking about traffic and how the West Coast highway systems are so much better or whatever. So Jones sent me, did he send the same thing
Saw
to
that he
you?
sent it to
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah. So Jones sent me something here. It said Washington, D.C. ranked 199 out of 200 for the safest driving cities, right? So they took, you know, the top 200 cities in the country. I don't know how they based it, whether it was population or, density or per capita. I have no idea how they based it, but they took 200 cities in the country, and they ranked them 1 to 200 on the safest places to drive. Now, this in particular is talking about DC, which we know was 199, and at 198 was Baltimore, right? And we know that Jones happens to live right in between Baltimore and DC. But the best part about this is despite Baltimore being at 198 and Washington, D.C. being at 199, I know you know this, but why don't you tell everyone else that's watching us right now what the 200th ranked city for safest driving locations in the country are?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts came in dead last out of 200 cities. So this screenshot only has the bottom 10. So going up from the bottom,
I'll say,
right?
please share what else is on there.
It's so all of these cities are better than Boston, right? Because Boston, remember, is dead last. So going up from there, we already talked about Washington, D.C. at 199. Then it's Baltimore. Worcester, Massachusetts came in at 197. Springfield, Massachusetts was 196. Glendale, California, next at 195. Los Angeles at 194. Oakland, California at 93. Then at 92 was Providence, Rhode Island. And then the last one we have on this list at 191 was Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So of the 10 worst cities or least safest cities for traffic in the United States, three of them are in Massachusetts. Now, three of them are also in California, but California is like a million times the size of Massachusetts and probably at least seven times as populous, right? There's like 6 million people in Massachusetts. I think
I thought there was
there's,
like 60 million people in California. Is that too many?
oh, I thought there was like 35.
Google machine.
Yeah. Maybe there is 60.
I would
Maybe
say land
Texas is
mass
35.
wise, they're fucking
I mean, landmass
smaller
wise,
than
it's not even
us.
close. Like, I don't even know what the factor of that would be.
At least three. Okay, I guess it's only 40.
Yeah, 40 million people
Mm,
in California. So yeah, if there's 6 million in Massachusetts, they're whatever, roughly seven times more people. And we have three. And not only that, we have three of the bottom five. So not only are we three of the top 10, we're three of the bottom five. And if you want to include New England, right? Because technically Wikipedia calls the greater Boston area. Remember that
yeah,
time we
down into
looked it up?
Connecticut.
Yeah, the greater Boston area reaches into like
I think it goes to
New
Hartford.
Hampshire and Connecticut. You could include Providence, which would give you four, four of the bottom 10.
The only thing that like kind of drove me crazy was, but then I had to remember what we were talking about. I was like, how is nothing in Connecticut here, but they're not like cities, like New
Yeah,
Haven and Hartford, sure, but like there's not enough going on there. And Connecticut sucks as a state, not
right.
as a city.
Yeah, there aren't very many like big cities there. Like you said, it's basically New Haven, Hartford, and Bridgeport. Like other than that, there's no big city. Like some people would say Greenwich, but Greenwich is just rich. Like there's not a lot of people that live there. It's not a big city.
Yeah, I was gonna say city would be city would be stretching it a little bit.
Yeah. Like Stamford is probably a bigger city than Greenwich.
Home of the WWE.
Yeah. Shout out to the McMahons and Triple H now that runs it. So yeah. So fun times. Um, you got anything else? You want to wrap this up?
I don't think so. I think we can wrap it up.
All right.
So I know I sent it to you guys. I know I've mentioned it before. I think that pro golf and pro golf content and pro golf media are absolutely cooked. And the annual tradition up there with the Masters tournament, someone throwing a ball in the rough at the US Open, is also the debate of could a scratch beat an LPGA player? And of course, this has to continue happening, and it's only amongst the worst people ever. And it started because Riggs does his video series. He calls it Hater. So someone online usually runs their mouth, telling them like, yo, you're not a three, or you're not a four, or I'm a this, and I'll fucking beat you at whatever. However they pare that down, uh, it's truly like you would have to be you'd have to be the type of person that likes to like watch car accidents or like shit like that because it's tough. Like some of the people that he's brought on are just the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like they make him look awesome. And it's
Yeah.
like this is like these people are fucking terrible. And it was like there was some dude from Philly and he kept like talking about like repping Philly and whatever part of Philly and all these people are like, yeah, I live in this county and we do not
Yeah.
claim him as one of ours.
Well, yeah, I
And of
mean, you got to
course that
remember
and actually of
too,
course that dude's name was Kyle.
of course. But
And
like
then I think there
those
was another
people,
Kyle. I think another Kyle went on as a hater.
like those kind of people aren't entertainers, right? Like they're not like everyone
But
that
that's
works at Barstool is an entertainer, right?
yeah.
Like they understand the business. Like you're just gonna get some fucking
But
schmuck
that
off the street that like thinks
no,
he can
they're
talk
they're
shit.
they're they're picking and choosing because like these guys are such douchebags.
Yeah,
Like if I ran my mouth, they ain't picking me
yeah,
because I don't have that much to say.
right. Yeah, that's fair.
Like they need to do a video. It needs to be an hour long. So it's like
Yeah,
and it's all and again, I think it's the type of guys that'll play it off. Like um but so he's putting out a few of those right now. And I think he did a big money one with someone, I don't know, some streamer or some bullshit, whatever. Um so he said he goes, I really would like to do a series where we settle this debate, putting a scratch against an LPGA player. And Jenny Shin, I think she's still active. Unless she's like still part-time, whatever. She's an LPGA player. Um and she was like, "Yep, let's do it." And then, of course, so now it starts making the circles, and everyone's picking it up, and everyone's giving their opinion, and everyone's just awful.
yeah,
And it's like, it's funny because I feel like I have a pretty level-headed take on the game of golf because I understand what it's like to be social. I understand what it's like to be average. I understand what it's like to play to a low single digit. I've never played at scratch, but I have played with plenty of people who are. Um, and a couple pluses. So it's like I truthfully don't know what it's like to watch a pro do their thing outside of what I've seen on TV and
right.
in real life. I have a pretty good understanding of all that. And the only thing that I'll say is the women on the LPGA tour effectively play the men's tees. Like their average setups are about 6,500 yards.
Yeah.
So like when everyone, because that's the first thing. Everyone's always like, "Oh, the tees, the tees." It's like,
It's like,
"Oh,
yeah,
they
they're
play the
playing
tees."
longer than you are, you fucking loser. Because like
But no, no,
these guys
what
aren't gonna
drives me? No,
play 7,600
this is the
yards that the
one thing with the
PGA
fucking
plays.
tees. This with the fucking the tees. No one fucking everyone refuses to acknowledge what these fucking yardages mean because 7,000 yards in Massachusetts is not the same as 7,000 yards in Utah or
Right.
Arizona or Florida or Massachusetts in April versus Massachusetts in August. Like the fucking tea debate is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like the cheese, the cheese. And of course, everyone on Twitter hits a 300. So
Yeah.
like of course they're gonna be I'm gonna be 40 or 50 by them every time. And it's like it is so remarkable to realize how close like the LPGA game is to the recreational men's game. And then they're the ones over 4 days hanging 20 under.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a scratch, a zero, is gonna beat that.
Yeah.
And then people do start arguing semantics, and it's like, well, LPGA, it's like, someone's got to finish last, and it's like, okay, so pick an average.
Right.
God forbid you pick someone good, like
Yeah.
Nelly Corder is not losing to a scratch male.
Nope, not a chance.
It's not happening.
Neither is like Megan Kang or any of
No,
those ones either. Minji Lee.
no. She got three majors.
Yeah.
Minji Lee just won another one.
Yeah.
And then so it's like, because not for nothing, like, you'll see social media posts like Nelly Cora's average carry with clubs. I'm like, those look awfully familiar. And then it's like when I played Pebble not that long before they played. A lot of stuff was netted off right around kind of where I would be. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the setup. Um, their game's not too dissimilar, except the part where they have incredible skill. And then people go, well, if you're a true scratch, it's like, oh God, here we fucking go. And I blame the fucking Euro bums for this one. They have this idea that like true scratch is something that like I don't know what they think it is, but like just having like a zero index is not like true scratch to them.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
So then it's like, well, you need to add, well, so then it's like, I don't know what you want. Like, do you want to be able to average under par in competition? Because averaging under par in competition by the World Handicap Index, because now it's not by country anymore. It's
Right.
a universal thing. But if you have like averaging par is going to be a +3,
Right.
especially if it's competition. And if it's not competition, averaging par is still going to be a +1, +2.
Right.
So is that what true scratch is? Is true scratch +1, +2, +3? Is it +4?
Yeah.
Is +7 good enough? Like, where does it end?
Right.
And then never mind, asterisk tally, she's an AM. So she actually holds an index. She's a +7 and point 0.7. She's 16 years old. Like,
Yeah.
is that true scratch? Does that count? Does that work? I don't know. Like, does that help?
Right. Right.
And then, you see some people, and that, because that's the thing is like, if you ask me, it's like, oh, well, how would a scratch do against an LPGA player? And I go, like, honestly, guys, scratch ain't that good. Because now
Right.
you got to remember what's the arena, right?
Right.
We're talking LPGA player and we're talking scratch male. In that setting, a scratch male is not a fucking good golfer. They're just
Yeah.
not. They are good at golf, but they are not good in that, like, in that arena, they are not that good of a player.
Right.
I think you guys would be alarmed
I mean, I would look
when,
at it and be like, which one is a professional that does that for a living? That's the one
yeah,
that I'm going to take.
day in and day out needs to do it for their career.
Yeah.
Never mind, they've probably hit more shots by a function of, I don't know, 30, like a 30x multiplier
Yeah.
in tournament conditions.
Right.
Now, some people said it's like, oh, well, what about like a tournament +4 um male? I'm like, that might actually be a fight. Because like if you get like a +4 that qualifies for the USAM and has like, 175, 180 ball speed, like, yeah, they're probably gonna like put up a fight. If it's a tournament, again, now we're arguing semantics, a tournament +4.
Right.
Because it's like, yeah, like a +4 in your home course, like that's good, but it's not that good. And it's like, well, a traveling +4. Wow. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like
and it's
what is Parziale?
I mean, dude, like at his best, I think he was like a +3 and change, maybe.
Yeah.
He's probably a +1 or +2 right now.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the thing. It's like he's also, but like now he's just like a regular dude.
Right.
So like he went to that Masters like 7 years ago.
Yeah. That's wild.
So like yeah, maybe like if he's good enough to qualify for the Masters, like he could be good enough to beat an LPGA player, but he might not. And again, it comes back to which one.
Which one? Yeah.
Was it 2017 Arya Jatanagarn? Because it's not he's not beating that. He's not beating her. No
Yeah.
way. Or like Inbee Park at the time, like no way.
Yeah.
But the one that's struggling to keep their card, I don't know, maybe. Where
Yeah.
where are they playing?
Right. Right.
So It's one of those things. I know I've been soured on golf media and golf coverage because they hate everything, whatever. And it's like then this makes the rounds, and it's like, come on, man. Also, I'm pretty sure that there's videos out there of like Charlie Hull playing against like Rick Shields or something, and he's, I don't know, effectively a scratch or close to it, maybe.
Yeah. And
They're
she's the
just
best.
better.
She just rips butts on the course.
Well, the other thing too is everyone's like, "Oh my God, the cheese, the cheese. What are we gonna do about the cheese?" She wants to play back. She always
Yeah.
says that. Like she goes in that video, she goes, "Nope, we playing back. Move them on back." And
Yeah.
I think when like Danielle Kang played against the foreplay pod in their scramble, and first, well, none of them are scratched, so I guess that's irrelevant. But like she even says, she goes, "Nope, move on back." She goes, "Because I'm better than you from back there."
Yeah.
So I don't think they care about the tees. I think you're just gonna run into issues with who's the right person to do this.
Yeah.
Um, and then like, not for nothing for the LPGA, it's a lose lose. You lose the match, and it's like, oh God, here we go. Now fucking Kyle was right.
Yeah.
Or you win, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you're a pro, former world number one. Like,
Yeah. 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 Oh, what did you expect, man?
it's awful.
Because then they just
Absolutely
they just
terrible.
move the goalposts, right? They're
Yeah, and
like,
that and
well,
and
that
and
will, Minji Lee is too good, right? And it's like, well, maybe we should find a different one.
yeah,
It's
it's like,
like,
oh well, I was gonna say, we can't really learn much from like one match.
yeah, yeah,
So I think ultimately we'll never find out. So we can probably just do this again next year. Pencil it in a little bit before the 4th of July.
yeah, yeah. That sounds good.
I think it usually shows up right after the US Women's Open because a lot of like people will actually watch that.
Yeah,
Like especially when it was at Pebble too. Oh, I could play that course.
yeah.
So absolutely nauseating. And I think, and truthfully, I think this is actually some of the trickle down of like the Live PGA Tour bullshit. Like now, no one has anything good to talk about
Well, yeah. I
because
mean,
no one wants to talk about Aldridge Puttgeider.
there's no storylines
There's nothing
anymore.
interesting happening.
Yeah, yeah. It really is something. In the golf world, it's basically this year. It feels like if it hasn't been Scotty or Rory, it's been a bum.
Well, the guys like we've gone over this at nauseum, but like they're even out of like
Because like the good guys aren't even like I know Xander's been hurt, but like Xander hasn't done shit this
yeah, they're not
year.
playing well.
Cantlay is can't find himself in the mix. He's great at finishing T12. Like he's on the leaderboard, but he's never once making a push for the lead.
Yeah, what I
Like
mean, we've talked about this. It's like Finau, Cantlay,
yeah, it's
Spieth,
like all of
Thomas,
these guys that have been at the
Morikawa.
top for so
They're not
long,
playing well.
they can't
And then
do
in the
it.
majors, like a couple live guys play okay, but like you're not getting Neiman and Rom and Hat like all the time. Like you're not getting these guys like making a charge all the time.
Right,
Cam Smith, like
right,
you're not getting that.
right.
So it's like,
So
but
you're
that's
left
golf.
with
But that's the thing though,
Aldrich
that's golf.
Potgieter.
Yeah, so now you got Aldridge Potgieter, who that guy could be the new king of disgusting, but boy, can he hit a fucking golf ball
Oh
hard.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I mean he's good. I mean he won a British Am, I think.
Oh really?
I think he won one.
Okay.
Because I think that's why I've heard of him before this year
Yeah.
or so. Because he also lost. I think he lost a playoff earlier this year. Like the kid can play. He might have been Corn Ferry last year, but yeah. I mean, like that's a little bit of your trickle down. But I feel like I had a point to make, and then I forgot it. Oh, well, yeah, and then you're seeing it this week. Like people are like, well, should Patrick Reed be on the U.S. Ryder Cup team? Like, you guys have nothing to talk about. You have absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing.
Because no, he shouldn't. He won Live Dallas, but no, he shouldn't.
Yeah.
But the only reason you can have this conversation is because he would be taking like either Brian Harmon or Maverick McNeely's spot. And I'm like, those are US Ryder Cuppers. And I know in the past there's been some fucking duds like Jeff Overton and shit like that, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, sorry it didn't work out for you guys, but like, yuck.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I and just to put a bow on this too, I did see recently there was a someone was doing like the YouTube channels, like how the YouTube channels are ranking, and like obviously for like US based, like Bryson is far and away better. Or I think it's PGA Tour, then it's like Bryson, then it's probably the Crushers because of Bryson, and then it's Bob Does Sports, and it's like they are
yeah,
not even nearly as remotely popular as Four Player Barstool, but they're better.
yeah,
And I think if like the Spit and Chicklets guys weren't a hockey podcast, I think they would be higher than Bob Does Sports. They almost do it better.
yeah, yeah,
But, it's like some of the more traditional stuff, like, Grant's up there, people like Grant, but like Good's fallen. Like, no one gives a fuck what no laying up has. Or, I mean, like, again, like niche followings, but
right,
fried
right,
egg, no laying up. No one has anything to say.
right. Yeah.
So I'll just put some fucking lead tape on my driver shaft and see what the fuck happens, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked up the winners since Rory won at the Masters, right? You have the RBC Heritage, which was a signature event, was Justin Thomas. The Zurich was Rory and Shane. Um, the Byron Nelson was Scotty. Then it was the Truist, which was Sepp Straka. The PGA was Scotty. Um, the Charles Schwab actually doesn't have a winner. That was Ben Griffin. So then the Memorial was Scotty.
Roy and Lowry didn't win them. Griffin and Novak won.
Yeah, that's weird that it says. I thought that was odd when I saw that.
They didn't win. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
Yeah,
remember them winning.
yeah. The
It was Griffin
CBS
and
the CBS
Novak.
Sports app is a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, so take that off, right? That's another. So Rory JT, then it was Ben Griffin, right, and Andrew Novak. Then in Scotty, Sepp Straka, uh, Scotty at the PGA. Ben Griffin won the Charles Schwab. Scotty wins the Memorial. Bobby Mack wins the Canadian Open. JJ Spahn wins the US Open. Keegan Bradley at the Travelers, and then Aldrich Potgieter at the Rocket Classic. Like, that's what I mean. If it wasn't Rory or Scotty this year, it was just puke on your shoes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, I do like Keegan Bradley, not just because he's from Vermont, but
Local guy.
yeah,
He played 1 year at Hopkinton.
yeah, I just like Keegan Bradley. Um,
I mean, Keegan Bradley's like a legitimate winner. I'll give you
yeah,
that.
yeah, he's a,
I don't think you would have said otherwise. But yeah, I mean, it's like, but that's one.
yeah. So, yeah. The point still stands because I think we did it before the Masters. We talked about it, and I read all the names leading into the Masters, and it was more of the same, right? It was just bum after bum after bum.
Yeah. I think too, we like, for a while, like the personalities were kind of winning, kind of prevailing. And I actually genuinely think that the lesser known guys are just better now. So that's why you're getting it.
Yeah,
But that doesn't make it good for golf in
yeah,
general. Like there's only so many times you can tell the story that Ben Griffin was he was selling insurance or loan officer, whatever the fuck he was.
yeah. And it's tough too because like these alternate guys, not to call them alternate guys, but they're not they're not the heavy hitters, right? Like the hard thing with them is because golf is golf. Aldrich Potgieter could win the Rocket Classic and then finish 42nd at the John Deere, right? Like it's not like a guy like Prime Spieth or a Prime JT or Scotty or Rory, where like when these guys are playing, they're gonna finish top 20. And in Scotty's case, top 10, because he hasn't finished outside the top 10 in like 3 years.
There's also a 0% chance that Aldrich Potgieter weighs 211. I'm
But you know
sorry,
what I
there's
mean?
just
Like
no way.
it's tough to get up for those guys when they're so inconsistent, right? Like I was scrolling through the list and I saw Harris English won the Farmers at Torrey Pines, right? And it's like, yeah, Harris English like could be good, and he's one of those guys that does typically tend to pop up in the majors, but like he's never around. He's never in the mix. He just happened to win the Farmers Open, right? Like Thomas Dietrich won another event earlier in the year, right? Like JJ
Also,
Spawn won the US Open. Like what
here
has
we
JJ
go.
Spawn done since he won the US Open? Nothing.
Potgieter lost in the playoff in Mexico in February. I was actually watching that. Miscut, 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 miscut.
Yeah.
T47. And also these events have been like the API, the Players, the Valspar, the Houston, the Texas Open, Punta Cana, miscut. Iron Nelson, miscut. Myrtle Beach, miscut. Charles Schwab, T6, Rocket Classic, win. Like
Yeah.
you can't. Then that's the thing. Like that's gonna be, and he's young as hell. Like and again, I think he's got crazy talent. I think he fucking hits the ever living fuck out of the ball. He's fucking put together. There's no way he's 211 pounds. No way. Not at 5'11. No fucking way. Um, like he'll probably figure it out. And it's like, I don't expect him to make all these cuts, but like,
Right.
how do you get up for that guy?
Exactly.
Oh, it's Saturday.
Exactly.
I'll watch golf. I wonder if my guy Potgieter's playing. Nope. Sorry. Missed the cut at the John
Yeah.
Deere.
It's hard, right? Like we talked about it. Was it the US Open? When it was like the Saturday leaderboard was like Rasmus Niergaard Norgarden and fucking all these guys. It's like it's hard to get excited
No, but you know
when
what
that's
though?
your leaderboard.
You know how we mentioned like, oh, everyone likes the music of their childhood. I
Yeah.
don't know if people really remember how bad leaderboards were. Like Robert Carlson was like a perennial top 10 on the leaderboard. You might be wondering who Robert Carlson is. Carl Peterson, another Swede.
Yeah.
He's another one, always kind of like kicking around up there. Like you'd be surprised. I think like this is how it always is. People just either don't want to remember it or just forget
Yeah.
or never knew one or the other.
Yeah.
Like wait till the Open Championship. Some AM will be top five after day one.
Oh yeah. It happens every
Like,
year.
oh my
That
God,
was
an
the
amateur hasn't won since 1842.
what's his name? I just talked about him the other day. Crystal Lamprecht. He was like top 3 or something 2 years ago as an AM.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like 7 feet tall and hits it like 400 yards.
Yep. Oh, not more than my guy Potgieter.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's golf though. Um, so my final thought should be a quick one. I know this isn't going to come out until Thursday, but today is July 1st. So I do want to give a tip of the cap, right, to Bobby Bonilla and say happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Because
Like 10 more of these.
yeah, because he hasn't played for the New York Mets in like 25 years, and he still is getting paid $1 million every year on July 1st, for, like you said, like another 10 years.
I think it's 2035.
Yeah. Yep. So shout out to Bobby Bonilla. Shout out to the New York Mets. Um, just the secondary New York franchises in general just get doling out shitty contracts between Bobby Bonilla and Rick DiPietro with the Islanders, who is probably still getting paid by the Islanders at this point. Um, just yeah, just really, really good at giving out shitty contracts. So yeah, happy Bobby Bonilla Day. And that's going to do it for us. So thanks for watching wherever you're at. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up top on the screen. Uh, get us on social media, everywhere below on the bottom here, down here, right? Um, support the sponsors, support us. And until next time, good night, everybody.